Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Answers Life. I got a little story for you guys. And then after it's not so much of a story, but after I read this little article, I'm going to run a scenario. I'm going to run a scenario by you guys and see how you guys feel. So here's how it goes. In July of 2024, Greece passed a law that allows some private sector companies to require employees to work a 6-day work week in exchange for 40% overtime pay. The law is optional for employees who can choose to work an extra 2 hours per day or an 8-hour shift. The law applies to certain industries and manufacturing sectors, as well as businesses that operate 24/7, but it does not apply to food service or tourism. The law also states that if a company chooses to implement the 6-day work week, it must apply to all employees equally. In a nutshell, the reason why they're passing that law is because, Greece is one of those countries to where the population is aging, and for the most part, they're losing people, and they're losing, therefore they're losing people that are able to participate in their workforce. So just to kind of compensate for the population loss that they're experiencing in Greece, that's the reason why they passed that law. Now, what I want to know from you guys is, do you guys agree with that law or do you disagree? I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section on whether you agree or disagree. Now, me personally, I can see why they passed the law, but at the same time, I disagree. I think, I don't think people should be mandated to work 6 days a week. I think those 2 days that people have off from their jobs are very much necessary days to take off, to where you can get stuff done around the house, you can catch up on some sleep, you can live somewhat of a life outside of your work. But that's how I feel about that. Now, I'm gonna run a scenario by you guys, man. You guys holler at me in the comment section on how you feel. Here's a scenario. And again, what I'm getting ready to say, it is not based on one strand of evidence. It's not based on no factual information. This is something that I 100% made up. Now, here's a scenario. Here's a scenario. What if the United States passed a law? Or, no, matter of fact, what if the United States wanted to pass a law? And the law goes like this: your job can only work you 4 days a week, no more than 32 hours per week. And on top of that, for every 3 months you work, your job is required to give you a month off. For every 3 months. So that's roughly 2.5 months out of the year that you're gonna have mandatory time off for your job. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, yeah, that's great. I wish they would pass a law like that. But let me add one more thing to this law. This, I should say, hypothetical law. Now, the money that you're earning right now, what if the government allowed your company to cut your pay by, let's say, 15%? So in order for this law to go into effect, the company that you work for, whoever it may be, they would be allowed to cut your pay by 15%. They don't have to, but they would be allowed to. But we know that most companies are going to if they were to have that type of an option. So with that being said, how many of you guys would be in agreement to that law passing? Would you guys want that law to pass, or would you want the law to not pass? Now here's the other scenario, and again, no, this is not based on any facts, no proof. This is just some stuff that I made up. Now, what if the United States passed a law to where, no, I mean, what if the United States wanted to pass a law to where a employer would have the option, kind of like what's going on in Greece, to work you 6 days a week? So your employer would require you to work 6 days a week. In exchange for working 6 days a week, you know what? Let's bump the overtime pay to 50% as opposed to 40%. And you know what? We're going to be a little nicer than Greece. We're going to give you guys some days off. Let's say for every 3 months of work, you get that month off. So for every 3 months you work, you get a whole month off. Oh, and by the way, that month you get off is unpaid. In both scenarios, the month you get off is unpaid. Now my question to you all is, how many of you will vote for that law? Or for that policy, rather, to become law? I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section on how you feel about that. Now me personally, I'm not a fan of working 6 days a week, but provided that, I mean, again, this is hypothetical, this is made up, but if this was a real deal, I'm not a fan of 6-day work weeks. But for me, if I knew that every 3 months I get a whole month off for work, I'm thinking, okay, if I get a month off for work, I can do some traveling. I can do some things I genuinely want to do. So I would actually be in favor of that type of a law to pass. But that's me. So let me know how you feel in the comment section. How do you all feel about that? And that's about all I got for the video today. It's not going to be a super long one. So if you like what I do, remember, you can give videos like this a thumbs up. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel and stay blessed out there.